My beloved child. There is a quiet moment unfolding around you right now, so subtle that most would miss it, yet so significant that it has been forming for longer than you realize. You may feel it as a slight pause in your thoughts, or a strange sense that something is aligning behind the scenes. Not loud, not dramatic, just present. And somehow, it feels connected to you. And then, without warning, you find yourself drawn to something you cannot fully explain. A house. Not just walls, not just a structure, but a space that feels almost familiar, as if it remembers you before you remember it. Strange, isn't it? How a place you've never owned can feel like it already knows your story. Look closer. There is a detail you almost overlooked, something in the image, something in the atmosphere of it. It's not about how it looks on the surface. It's deeper than that. There's a quiet message hidden within it, one that wasn't meant to be rushed. Pause for a second. Why does this moment feel different from all the others? Why does this decision, this simple idea of signing something, of stepping into ownership, carry a weight that feels personal? Because this isn't just about a house. There's something forming around this moment that you haven't fully seen yet. A connection. A realization. A shift that has been waiting for you to notice it. And the image, yes, the one you're thinking about, it holds a piece of that shift. But here's the part most people miss. It's not about what the picture shows. It's about what it makes you feel before you even understand it. There's a reason your attention was pulled here. There's a reason this thought didn't just pass by like all the others. And there's a reason you're still here, listening, instead of moving on. Something important is waiting for you. Not in a distant future, but right here, in this unfolding moment. And just when you think you've understood what this is about, something inside you hesitates. A quiet voice. Not fear, no, not that. Just a gentle nudge asking you to look again. Because what you're about to step into is not just ownership of a place. It's recognition of something within yourself. Now let this sink in slowly. What if this house, this image, this moment, is reflecting something back to you? Something you've been building, not outside, but inside. A space of readiness. A sense of alignment. A feeling that you're finally standing at the edge of something that has been forming quietly for a long time. And yet, why does it feel like there's one more piece missing? Don't skip this part. Because what comes next isn't obvious, and it won't reveal itself all at once. There is a subtle detail, hidden not in the house, not in the agreement, but in the timing of this moment. Why now? Why does this idea come to you at this exact point in your journey? Not earlier. Not later, but now. That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's something aligning in a way that most people don't stop to notice. And you're starting to notice it. Feel it. There's a quiet expansion happening within you, like something is opening, making space for what's coming next. But here's where it becomes even more interesting. Because just as you begin to feel ready, something unexpected appears. Not outside, but within your own awareness. A question. Soft, but persistent. Are you seeing the full picture, or just a part of it? Take a breath. Because this is where everything begins to shift. The image you were about to glance at casually isn't meant to be rushed. It holds something, not obvious, not loud, but deeply connected to you. Something that could easily be missed if you move too quickly. And something that might disappear, not because it was taken away, but because it was never meant to stay forever. That's why you're here, right now. To see it. To feel it. Before it fades into the background like so many other moments. Stay till the end, because this isn't just about seeing a picture. It's about understanding why it appeared for you in the first place. And just when you think you're about to figure it out, something inside you shifts again. A realization begins to form, but it's not complete yet. Not fully clear. Not fully spoken. Almost like a sentence that stops right before the final word. And that unfinished feeling. It's not a mistake. It's an invitation. An invitation to look deeper. To notice what most people overlook. To recognize that this moment, this house, this agreement, is only the surface of something much more meaningful. And as you stand at this edge, between curiosity and understanding, you begin to sense it. Something is about to reveal itself. But not all at once. Not in a way that overwhelms you. In a way that unfolds, slowly, naturally, exactly when you're ready to receive it. And right now, you're closer than you think. Closer to understanding why this moment feels so different. Closer to seeing what the picture truly holds. Closer to realizing that this isn't just about where you're going. It's about who you're becoming as you move toward it. But there's still something you haven't seen. Something small, yet powerful. And it changes everything. Just wait, because in the next moment, it begins to reveal itself. And just when you think the moment has settled, something quietly stirs again. Not around you, but within you. A subtle pull, like your attention is being guided back to that image, not to admire it, but to notice it differently this time. Because the first time, you saw it with your eyes, but now, you're beginning to feel it with something deeper. Look again, slowly. There's a stillness in that picture that doesn't quite behave like stillness. Almost as if it's holding a story that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. And the strange part is, the more you look, the more it feels like it's looking back at you. Why does that feel so real? Why does it feel like this moment is asking something from you, without using words? Pause here. Because this is where most people rush, and miss everything. There's a detail, quiet, almost invisible at first, that begins to shift the entire meaning of what you're seeing. Not something dramatic, not something obvious, but something that changes how the whole picture feels. It's not in the walls. It's not in the doors. It's not even in the light. It's in the presence of something that doesn't quite belong, yet doesn't feel wrong either. And suddenly, you realize, this was never just a house you were about to sign for. It was a moment designed to make you pause. To make you notice. To make you question what you're stepping into, and why. There's a deeper alignment unfolding here, one that doesn't rely on logic alone. Because think about it. How many times have you come across things in your life that felt ordinary, until later you realized they weren't? This feels like one of those moments. A quiet turning point, disguised as something simple. And now, something inside you begins to connect the pieces. Not fully, not all at once, but enough to feel that something is shifting. Something important is waiting for you. But it's not rushing toward you. It's waiting for you to meet it halfway. And that's when another thought appears, unexpected, almost out of nowhere. What if this isn't about the house at all? What if this is about timing? Because there's something unusual about how this moment arrived in your awareness. It didn't demand attention, it didn't force itself into your path, it simply appeared, quietly, at the exact moment you were ready to notice it. That's not random. That's something aligning, in a way that doesn't need to explain itself. And yet, there's still a part of you that feels like there's more to see. More to understand. More that hasn't been revealed yet. And you're right. Because just beneath the surface of this moment, there's a subtle truth beginning to rise. A truth that doesn't shout, doesn't push, doesn't overwhelm. It simply waits, until you're calm enough to hear it. So listen carefully. There's something about this picture, something about this agreement, that reflects a version of you that you're just beginning to step into. Not who you were yesterday. Not who you thought you had to be. But who you are becoming, right now. And that version of you sees things differently. Feels things more deeply. Notices what others overlook. Which is why this moment feels different. Why it lingers. Why it stays with you longer than it should. Because it's not just passing through your awareness. It's speaking to it. But here's where it becomes even more intriguing. Because just as you begin to feel clarity, something unexpected interrupts it. Not confusion, not doubt. Just a gentle shift. Like the picture itself is asking you one more question before revealing everything. Are you ready to see it, without assumptions? Take a breath. Because this next part is subtle, but it changes everything. There is something in that image, something small, almost unimportant at first glance. But once you notice it, you can't unsee it. And it doesn't change the house. It changes you. Your perspective. Your understanding. Your sense of what this moment really is. And suddenly, you're not just someone about to sign an agreement. You're someone standing at the edge of a realization that has been quietly forming, long before this moment appeared. Don't skip this feeling. Because this is where the deeper meaning begins to unfold. And just as you begin to settle into this awareness, something even more unexpected begins to rise. A sense that this moment, this image, this decision, is connected to something beyond what you can currently see. Not in a way that feels overwhelming, but in a way that feels intentional. Like everything leading up to this has been gently guiding you here. And now, you're standing right at the point where it all starts to make sense. But not completely. Not yet. Because there's still one piece missing. One final detail. That hasn't revealed itself fully. And when it does, it won't just change how you see the picture. It will change how you see this entire moment. So stay here. Just a little longer. Because what comes next is the part you weren't expecting at all. And then, without any warning at all, it finally begins to show itself. Not in a loud way, not in a way that startles you, but in a way that feels almost too natural, as if it was always there, waiting for you to be still enough to notice. Look closely now, not with urgency, but with presence. Because the detail you were missing was never hidden. It was simply unseen. There's a quiet imperfection in the image, something so subtle that most eyes would glide past it without a second thought. A shadow that doesn't quite match the direction of the light, a reflection that feels slightly out of place, a corner of the frame that holds more silence than the rest. Strange, isn't it? How something so small can shift everything. Pause here. Because this is the moment where perception changes. This is where the picture stops being just a picture, and becomes a mirror. And suddenly, you're not just observing it anymore. You're inside the experience of it. Why does that feel so real? Why does it feel like this moment is not about discovering something new, but remembering something you've always known? Because that's exactly what it is. There's a part of you, quiet, patient, that has been waiting for this exact realization. And now, it's rising to the surface. What you saw as a house was never just a destination. It was a reflection of readiness. A symbol of something within you that has reached a point of quiet completion. But here's the part that changes everything. The picture isn't asking you to move forward blindly. It's asking you to see clearly before you take the next step. And that subtle detail you noticed. It's not a warning. It's awareness. A gentle reminder that every decision you make carries an energy with it. And this moment is inviting you to choose with clarity, not just excitement. Take a breath. Because something deeper is unfolding now. You begin to realize that this entire experience wasn't about whether you should sign or not. It was about whether you are fully present in the choice you're about to make. Because there is a difference. A quiet but powerful difference. Between moving forward because something looks right, and moving forward because something feels aligned. And right now, you're beginning to feel that difference. It's subtle. It doesn't shout. But it's unmistakable once you notice it. And just as that awareness settles in, another realization begins to form. Even deeper, even more personal. What if this moment was never sent to you to give you an answer, but to awaken your ability to see your own answers? Stay with that. Because this is where everything shifts inward. You are no longer searching the picture for meaning. You are beginning to find meaning within yourself. And that changes everything. Because now, the image loses its power to confuse you. And gains its purpose, to reflect you. There's a quiet strength rising in you now. A clarity that doesn't need proof. A knowing that doesn't need validation. And it feels calm, grounded, certain in a way that doesn't need to announce itself. Something important is waiting for you, but not in the way you first imagined. It's not waiting in the picture. It's not waiting in the agreement. It's waiting in your awareness of what truly feels right. And just as this realization begins to settle, there's one final layer, one last shift, that brings everything together. Because even now, there's a small part of you that wonders. Why did it feel like the picture might disappear? Why did it carry that sense of urgency? That quiet feeling of before it's gone? Listen carefully. Because this answer is softer than you expect. It was never about the picture disappearing. It was about the moment. Moments like this don't stay open forever. Not because they are taken away, but because once you see clearly, they naturally transform. They evolve. They move you forward. And the version of you who needed that picture no longer exists in the same way. You've already begun to shift, to grow, to step into a deeper awareness of yourself. And that is why this moment felt so rare, so personal, so meaningful. Because it was never meant to last. It was meant to awaken something within you. And now, as you stand here, at the edge of this realization, you can feel it. That quiet certainty. That gentle clarity. That sense that you are no longer guessing, no longer searching, but simply knowing. And with that knowing, the question is no longer, what should I do? The question becomes, who am I choosing to be as I step forward? Let that stay with you. Because the answer to that changes everything that comes next.